Anderson Square in Georgetown and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host.
Hey, welcome, and thank you very, very much for joining us. It's the first Monday of December, and it seems like I've been away for a long time, so join me for the first hour or thereabouts of some open lines. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Radio Cayman Talk Today.
You're welcome back. Thank you for joining us. It is open line, and invite you to call and share your thoughts with us as we want to hear from you. Special thanks off the bat to both our colleague Ray Singh and OC, taking double duty from hosting For the Record and then coming back and doing Talk Today as well. And of course, Kathy, fantastic sales exec, joining him. And it's good. It's good to you have a fantastic team that steps in willingly. And we're very grateful for the opportunity. So let me hear from you. I was thinking of what do I say and share, and do I tell you about my escapades and adventures and misadventures and misdeeds and all the good things that we achieved. Those few days I was not here, but more preference from my is to hear from you. So what's on your mind? 949-8037, 949-6990. See, I remember the numbers, right? 925-3261. It happens. But it's exciting times that lie ahead as we do what we can to make it great. The world, they say, does not stop nor stand still, and as the sun sets and rises again, we have to wonder will we play therein. It's not always about us, but it is seemingly a selfish endeavor where many only think of what they can extract, not what they can contribute. Now, I don't know about you, but if you look at life as my daddy told me, he said, think of it as a piggy bank. If you don't put something in, no matter how much is in that, one day it'll be nothing to take out. Now, I'm not saying that with anything other than a strong, raw sense of colloquialisms. No need to say things sometimes when people don't themselves understand and or reflect and see themselves in the mirror when the pensive moment sort of presents itself. Where are we in this small space? There was a time when they came on in and would say, boy, look like careful. We'll be second-class citizens. And now we're asking ourselves, are we guests in our own country? And if that's the case, why? When you look, hear, see, touch, taste, and smell, are you seeing you? Are you making it better? Well, we can blame the politicians, and that's probably deservedly so and justified. But if we who voting honestly and informed, that's on us. So, are you ready to have fun, or you want to get to work? 949-8037, 949-6990. You can WhatsApp, call 925-3261, and let's hear from you as you share your thoughts. Recognizing again that, as this first Monday of this last month, as we look at our calendar, for many of us we only know that one, the year will soon draw to a close, and for many, they'll look back and there'll be regrets and sadly resentments, and there are many who would see their own actions and behaviors being nothing other than duplicitous, manipulative and controlling in such a way that they think that they get a leg up because they have demoralized, degraded, or otherwise decimated and destroyed others, only to see that when we face the maker, we will find ourselves wanting. Can't work our way into heaven, we're reminded. And, we're not saved, by works, but by faith. But faith without works is dead. So what are we going to do? Well, let's hear from you. 949-837, 949-6990. Something I want to share. It's been a bit of a challenge. I recognize that it's good to be positive and productive. Always good to look at the brighter side of things, and always recognize that, or maybe not at a Harlem Nights show that a good friend reminded me I should see that I haven't seen as yet, that the sunshine can be all, that and more. So let me ask you, what experiences have you been having recently that makes you look at life with a very, very pensive and proactive, manner? And in recognizing the good, the bad, and the ugly, which side of the equation do you fall on? Do you see the bad and the ugly and it makes you not just despondent, perhaps depressed, and have a sense of despair? Does it make you, like some of us are increasingly becoming, with a jaded sense, with a sense of not just apprehension and anxiety, not just a sense of, sadly, depravity that we see exhibited in others, but maybe before you get there, you know at a space where when you look at things, that jadedness makes you have, perspective on life where you become apathetic. You become in a space where you don't see good anymore. All you see is behaviors around you from many who disappoint, and from many who, because of the duplicitous nature of their approach, it causes you to be guarded and jaded. Well, we recognize that's the good and the bad, and it may make you come there. But look at life, and can we find positive energy? Can we find those people that, in spite of their circumstances, despite what is before them, they choose to be, better? I've always been reminded that the difference between bitter and better is just a letter, but the consequence can be eternal. So, when we come back from the break, I want to share with you maybe some of the things that I have experienced in the last few weeks that I had an opportunity to attend to the things that I had, planned. Didn't get it all done, but I want to hear from you. So give us a shout and share your thoughts. 949-837, 949-6990. Stay tuned and join us right after this break.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any Multilink ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with Valley Med Pharmacy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. And again, a special thanks to Raymond Singer, colleague in sales, and Mr. O.C. for filling in and sharing. I know our own Kathy had sat with him a bit, and good discussions. The talk shows encourage and remind us of the importance of having that opportunity to be able to share openly and freely. And for some, they will only listen. Perhaps through that, they might hear something that confirms what they knew. They may hear something that they did not know and question. But at the end of the day, if we're listening, we might be learning. Now, it may also motivate us to want to do something that is meaningful, lasting, positive, helping to uplift others. Well, that is the mindset that I've always tried to live by. And unfortunately, sometimes, as I said just prior to the break, that we see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what do we do about it? And there are many for whom we have not dealt with properly, and perhaps they're, as one good friend used to remind us, they have marked their cards. They have marked their cards. Their time is up, and it's time that they are dealt with swiftly and decisively, and be held to account. And that does not only mean the politically elected nor appointed. It does not mean the person for whom the organization has had at the helm for a while, or perhaps just getting into it and really is in deeper waters and he can swim. Sometimes some of us just need to stay on the shore. Sometimes shouldn't even be allowed to be taken down to the beach, because they have no clue when they reach what they need to do. I look in media and you see large multinational organizations where it doesn't affect the shareholders' confidence, because all the stakeholders recognize that the person at the helm isn't doing the job, just doesn't measure up. But in saying that, we always be positive and productive, and I've endeavored to do that. But realistically, there's much that we do not acknowledge in this society. And again, I invite you to guide, to direct, to chastise, to counsel, to ensure that we have a sense of being truly informed. I've always believed that if you don't acknowledge something, how can you address it? If we are willfully blind to what is before us, we used to hear Dr. Frank talk about the ostrich syndrome, where we stick our heads in the sand and believe that the thing will go away just because, we didn't acknowledge it. Well, these last few weeks, I must thank, all who have invited me into their homes, and as a good buddy says, invite me to sup. We sit and we drink and we eat and we laugh and we talk and we fellowship. And that doesn't have to mean that it is of an alcoholic based beverage. It just means that someone has taken time to prepare something, whether that's their own hands in their own kitchens or whether it's been catered, and you sit and you realize the importance of giving thanks, to be bothful, be both gracious and grateful. And so that's been amazing. And as much as I had endeavored to get done over this time, it may have seemed more like a workcation as opposed to a vacation. You never ever or I would be reminded to say never, but very rarely on your time off do you get all the things on that list that you had to do. But thankfully, we managed to get some things, and in doing so, things happen. Sadly, a buddy helping me, to fix something, he injured himself slightly, and that necessitated a visit to the physician. Luckily, she was able to patch him up in short order. It wasn't as difficult, but in the ensuing period, another buddy doing something else for himself, suffered a little bit more. So we find that there are costs and consequences to our actions and inactions. But in addition to all that, I'm reminded how wonderful it is that people give so freely of their time, and as Ms. Marlin talks about, time, talent, and treasure. But there have also been instances, and this is one of the things that I ask if you would weigh in and share. Had a number of experiences over the month of December, and that when they occurred in the ensuing years, I thought they were just one-off. It didn't, you misread it, just being overly sensitive. And now for them to have repeatedly happened, because I had an extended time to be in public spaces more often, you wonder to what extent, is this becoming commonplace? Is it a new occurrence? Are you only seeing it now because it's so prevalent? Now, I'll share with you, many of you have said that you've gone to, restaurants in particular or similar sort of establishments, and to feel unwelcome, so to feel rushed, to feel as if you're there, but as a patron, your money and your spend isn't as valued, wanted, or appreciated as somebody else's. So is that something that has been happening in Cayman and we've ignored it? Is that something that is a reset? And I like to put things in a timeline. We talk about, BC and AD. For some of us now, it's, perhaps BI and AI. Before Ivan, after Ivan. Perhaps it was, after COVID and before COVID. Are there things that are happening? For some, it may be, before they were 50 and after they were 50. So if you have a particular sort of timeline, one individual shared that he has encountered this more in the last 3 or 4 years in Cayman that he has probably encountered in his lifetime traveling the globe. And this is an individual that has seen many ports, not only as a seafarer, but as a still a very active, engaged, senior member of our community. So is that prejudice and discrimination and racism and that ugly side of humanity starting to rear its head in Cayman? Is it being entrenched? No. One experience by a small group or by an individual may be indicative, or maybe just one-off. With your participation, I would very much like to know to what extent you've experienced that. Sadly, I witnessed it firsthand again on numerous occasions these last few weeks. And you either experience it and realize that it's a frequent occurrence. You look back at past experiences and ask, have you been openly dismissive of it because it's nothing? But when it becomes almost an everyday occurrence, from one establishment to the next, you have to question, is that something that's happening? More importantly, in acknowledging it, to what extent are we going to address it and do something about it? Because we do not want a Cayman, at least I don't, and if you do, you tell me, because I may be, not properly informed, but I would not want a Cayman where you go somewhere, whether it's in your backyard, walking across your parking lot, coming from the grocery store, sitting in a cafe somewhere out in the back because the day isn't too hot, feel like you're going to be robbed, or you have that sense of unease, as happens in many places. But you also don't want a place where you are, openly being discriminated against. If it didn't happen, well, let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Look at Christmas coming after all.
Christmas, when somebody say, hey, Christmas is coming. Question is, are we ready for it?
We're always ready for Christmas, because every day is Christmas and every day is Thanksgiving. Just got to be thankful as the days go by and the minutes and the hours, not just celebrate one time of the year, every day. Yeah. Now, Mr. Stallion, how are you?
I am very well, I'll be honest with you. I have a friend who tells me that you can't be always good. And no, you can't, but you can speak it into being. You can believe it, you can be positive, you can acknowledge the good, the bad, and the ugly, but you got to choose of those three, which one you want to be.
Yeah, the positive side you got to be on.
That's the endeavor. I don't know that we'll get there, but we have to try.
Yes, no. I need to know if I can ask a question there before I ask you the question. Can I ask a question there?
You can always ask. It's on me, but I answer. You go ahead and ask.
So are you throwing your heart into politics this season coming up?
I will answer that as honestly as I can without any sort of political expediency or diplomacy. But may I ask why you ask? I mean, feel free to answer if you wish. Don't if you don't want to.
Oh, it's a rumor, so I say the best person to ask you.
I like it. I like strong, independent people. I like the fact that we live in a community where the women in our community, from our wives or mothers or sisters or grandmothers, that statue that we built there that is too small, that would never be enough to show their stalwartness. That is what I like in our community, right? People who take ownership and leadership. So for me, it is and has always been an endeavor to encourage every single member of our, every single Caymanian who's eligible to get registered to vote, to participate in this process. People say, oh, I don't like politics, I don't get involved. Well, respectfully, you ignore politics, you're ignoring your safety, security, sanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're allowing somebody else to dictate and decide for you how you're going to live, what policies and programs and projects the government going to pursue, and even the private sector, So every single one of us is impacted by politics. So first get registered to vote, get actively engaged and informed and involved, and on that day, with a very, very, conscious, decisive manner, go out and mark that ballot as you wish. I'll say this, and if anybody who knows more or feel that they do about politics and this is wrong, then by all means tell me. But let's say you have a choice between 1, 2, 3 or 10 people, and you look at that whole ballot and you say, I can't stand any of them. They don't want the paper printed on. Take your pen, or as we do here, a pencil, and mark a big X from one end, from one corner to the next, and then from another corner. Send a message that you went out there and you voted. Don't stay away and vote in silence. Go out and mark deliberately. Cross out that whole ballot and say none of them come to scratch. Now, that would be enough in and of itself, right? But preferably, if you're looking at the ballot and you go, nobody there really represents my interest. The second thing is, get involved. You get registered to vote, get involved in somebody's campaign. Support that person. Be willing to chair the meetings or take chairs to the meetings. And if you're so inclined, don't let anybody discourage you. Throw your hat in the ring, as they say. Get involved meaningly, fully, with intention to do so. So that brings me to your question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's a yes then? It's a yes, yes, yes?
No. It's a yes, yes, yes. Let's party to the best. But let me ask you, if I were to do that, what, and again, only if you want to ask, what would be your advice to me? Yes or no? What should I do or not?
I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Try it. Go for it. But I would ask you to keep a firm mind, keep a strong back,
mm-hmm.
and let certain things roll off your back and do not accept certain things that would take you, throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I hear you.
Stay positive.
Mm-hmm.
And just be you and fight for your country.
Yeah. Well, I'll say it this way, right? I joke and say I can only be me because everybody else is taken, right? So I gotta be me. But I'll also share with you that it's unfortunate, but as I reminded a very, very good friend earlier, sadly in life, I've come to expect people to lie, cheat, and steal. I don't accept it. I never will. But that seems to be the par for the course. In the business arrangement with your partners, to the marital arrangement with your spouses, to even in church with the pastors and in the other congregation. Sadly, people lie, steal, and steal. You know what I mean? Like you said, try to hold your head as high and be the best. Not holier than thou, but be as best as you can. I don't think our society...
And when you get in,
mm-hmm.
and if you get in, don't forget your people.
Well,
You don't have to have a meeting every month.
yeah,
But remember your people. Keep in contact with them.
right,
Go and visit them occasionally, especially the seniors,
right.
to see what they're in need of,
Yeah.
especially the seniors.
And this is
I'm
the
a
thing.
senior, don't forget me.
Well, I don't think I agree with you all, and I think we are too quick to forget each other, but there's also another role that I would like us to seriously consider and ask ourselves as voters. Have we abdicated our role? Are we as responsible in that role as a voter? We elect someone or people, whether we're part of a group in a party or however that's defined, and do we remain involved for the right reasons? Are we trying to extract something from that relationship because now, we're like PIP, whatever the party in power is, that's what we, where we are? Or are we genuinely interested and committed to making this country the very place that, our parents and forefathers have worked to make it so that we have what we have now?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're losing our way. We got a lot of people now who could jump up on the bandwagon and they can say some little thing, and maybe because of this, that, and next, they might gain a little traction. But just as Mama says, yes, Mom.
This is my opinion. I think that after people get into the House, there politics are being voted in, they just tend to get too comfortable and have all the answers, and we get people that put them in, we are not counted anymore to them. They have all the answers. They don't come back and talk with you and ask you what your opinion on this. I mean, we put you there and you're working for us and we are paying you to do your job. You understand?
Agree.
So I still feel like politics has become a playing game in this island now. It's just who can get the most money, and I would say under the table. Who can get the most money under the table, and it's all a hush-hush. Many years ago, they could do checks, but today now everything is cash, because nobody wants to go back and trace it. They don't want to trace it. Yeah. And when they get in their positions, they just forget the island that way. Look at the things that is happening in Cayman, and nothing is being done.
Right. Let me
What are they in there for? Listen to me, Sterling. My grandson went to the hospital Saturday and spent 3 hours and couldn't see a doctor.
Why?
Can you imagine 3 hours for a 10-year-old child at the hospital?
I don't.
Taking to a private doctor this morning.
Yeah.
Antibiotics, $125.
But I don't want you to tell. I'm not asking you about his personal medical history, but he went in 3 hours and couldn't see a doctor. Do you have an answer as to why he could not see a doctor in that time?
Was waiting in line.
Right, but is it the wait, or is it that he was turned away, or is it that you got impatient? I mean,
she left.
Okay, all right. I just wanted, that in itself may be something that we need to consider when we're looking at education and health services. And the reason that I asked, and I'm really grateful that you shared what you did, is that there are too many people who come from places who say, and including the UK and Canada, they wait 18 months, 2 years for a major surgery. Here, if we wait in a week or two, we're complaining because we have come and deservedly so to expect better. So if the question is, again, value systems that have been imposed that really don't align with our ethos, or if it is that their services, education and healthcare are being overly subscribed, is it a lack of personnel? Is it a competency, attitude, or whatever it is? Are we willing to address it, right? And I'll say this before we take the break. Similar to the allegations about education where primary, middle, high, whatever it is in the schools, there are no places for Caymanian children. And yet we ignore that. Well, we got a break and I don't want to rush you, but what else you want to say? Are we chat later? I got one question for you though. I want you to ask you this question, you can answer it at some point. If I were to run the 19 districts, or constitutional constituencies, where would you suggest or want me to run?
Say that again?
Of the 19 areas, right, that we have candidates going to be campaigning, which one would your advice be for me to contest the seat? Where should I run? Give us some thought.
I can't answer that right.
You give us some thought. Let me know. All right?
Yeah.
And I'm mindful that I didn't answer your question directly, but I will. Stay tuned. Join us after the break.
All the you said was a yes, 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 yes. That was sufficient.
That was sufficient? All right. Thank you. Let's stay tuned. Join us after the break.
Freeport's annual $40,000 Christmas sweepstakes is back once again. Simply spend $100 at your favorite Kirk Freeport store to enter to win one of 3 $5,000 cash prizes, one of 5 $1,000 cash prizes, and loads of other great prizes throughout December. And of course, the one you're all waiting for, the Rolex watch prize draw for all entries will be held on January 3rd. All purchases of $100 at any Kirk Freeport store before noon on Christmas Eve qualify for all remaining prize draws. Full details on kirkfreeport.com. Merry Christmas from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
North Side, get ready to be pampered. At Genesis Unisex Beauty Salon and Barber, we're bringing style, color, and care to you right at Waterboys Plaza, Franksound Road, North Side, next to Caboose Restaurant. From cuts for men and boys to vibrant colors, braids, wig installations, locks and grooming, lash extensions, and more. Need a relaxing mani-pedi or custom acrylic nails? We've got you covered. Genesis Unisex is the only salon in Northside, and we're here to make you look and feel amazing. Book now at 323-9055. Find us on Facebook or Instagram, or email us at genesis77beautysalon@gmail.com. Special offers are happening now on pedicure, tip, and acrylic, relaxing, and more. So don't miss out. Genesis Unisex Beauty Salon and Barber, where North Side goes for beauty.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
The Chickens have built Cayman's first digital currency investment platform, Chickstarter. Powered by Massive Media, Chickstarter is a satirical business incubator raising money for local charities. Sign up for free now at chickstarter.ky and invest your 10,000 Chick coin in the special projects, each raising money for different local charities. 10 people will be randomly selected to receive a month's supply of local farm produce from Farmer Clarence as well. Full details and fun at chickstarter.ky. That's chickstarter.ky. Sign up and play for free today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. It is Open Line. The clock saying less than 3 minutes to the headlines at 1. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
How are you doing? Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you back.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be, away for a bit, knowing that the place is being well managed. And it's a sober reminder that no matter what jobs we do, no matter if we die after a long, ripe old age, or we die suddenly and unexpectedly, life goes on, and you will be replaced and hopefully remembered. But there's no promise in that.
Isn't that you will be replaced, the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
That is life.
Yep. Your guest host did a really, really good job.
Oh man, they did
for you.
Yeah, they did indeed.
Yeah.
Very
I
grateful.
thought Mr. Singh was doing pretty good, and then Mr. Connor came on and filled
Mhm.
and he did superb. So they took your legacy in a continuous manner. I'm
Mhm.
sure you're proud of that.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
I just caught when that last caller called in, and you asked where they thought you should vote.
Where I should run. Yeah.
Well, where you should run. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. My apologies.
Mhm.
And I'm going to tell you, talk it to you, and let you know. Stay in Westway. Okay, that's that's your area. Stay down that way. I'm not going to say which district. You can choose whichever one you want, but
Uh-huh.
I'm chiming in to tell you Westway is where you should run. Okay.
And I appreciate that. And tell me why.
I guess probably because you're a Westby. I've always heard that you should try to run where people know about you. They're more familiar with you. They know.
Mhm.
They kind of have a history into your background, and just a familiar.
I hear you.
And that you're known
Right,
more or
right.
less in that area. That doesn't mean that you can't make yourself known in another area. Definitely not that.
No, you're right. You're right. And the thing is, if we look at our political landscape, a person can only vote where they live. That's where they should be registered, right? That's the expectation. If you live here, you vote here. But if you're going to be a political candidate, you could live in one area and run in another.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Is that right? Perhaps, perhaps not. But your advice is sound. We know that Mr. Gilbert McLean, Abler, the first time around, represented BRAC, even though he lived in Grand Cayman. We know Mr. Kurt Tibbetts lived in Northward and represented Georgetown. So it is, possible. It is actually allowed and accepted. But you are right. Maybe you should run. For me, it's more about bringing together the country and unifying. I like what Mr. Hamid had shared publicly with us. He said, one, unity in our diversity. And the Cayman that I see is a wonderful place. Lots of people from different walks of life. And sadly, I've seen more and more division along party lines because of partisan politics and this party foolishness. I see more division along education, ethnicity, and economics, and color, and creed, and race, and all that stuff. We don't want that for our country. So we need to come together.
I absolutely agree with you, and I suggested Westbay to you, but on the other hand, my personal opinion, I'm thankful that Cayman is the size that it is, that potential candidates are allowed to run in a district that they feel they would be most strong in. Because Cayman is still that size where people know just about everybody and have an idea of everybody's background and that sort of thing. So you could run in another district if you want. I'm not discouraging you from that. But I think it goes both ways, and it's a good thing that we still have that freedom here in Cayman to do that. But Sorry, you want to say something?
Well, I'm going to ask you. I mean, you're welcome. We have a call, Miss Susan. We got a news to take. If you want to hold on, I'll give you an opportunity. There's 2 questions I want to ask of you. Are you willing to engage?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. We'll do the news, and when we come back, we'll graciously continue with the caller.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
In your headlines, a new Sariba app is planned for the new year. The real estate tool is designed to provide a, quote, enhanced and seamless experience for buyers, sellers, and agents. The organization says it has also redesigned its website and multiple listing system and introduced, quote, enhanced data security measures. In regional headlines, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he believes that his former prime ministerial colleague, Dr. Keith Mitchell, wants to leave a strong foundation on which others can build as he gets ready to hand over the leadership of the main opposition New National Party. Holness, addressing a rally marking the NNP's 40th anniversary Sunday, said that Mitchell has informed him that he must ensure the core principles and ideals on which the NNP was formed continue to be its guiding principle for the future. Honduran President Xiomara Castro says she will convene a summit of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States to seek an urgent and solidarity-based solution to the crisis in Haiti, where criminal gangs have been seeking to overthrow the government. President Castro says she is seeking solutions to regional problems without interference or external pressure, with dialogue as a tool and always thinking about regional well-being and self-determination of peoples. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP. Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts was born at Cotton Tree Bay in Kimmebrack on 15th October 1916 to James Nathaniel Tibbetts and Elsie Huldah Tibbetts, nee Hunter. His father, uncles, and paternal grandfather were highly respected in the island of Kimmebrack for their skill in carpentry and shipbuilding. In addition to this, his maternal grandfather was a master mariner. Coming from a family of carpenters and seamen and living near the family shipyard, he was involved in the shipbuilding trade from his early childhood. As a young student, he attended school at Cotton Tree Bay under the tutelage of Robert Mr. Bert Foster until Standard 6. And in 1928, at the age of 12, he learned to drive a car. This was part 1 of a special Sister Islands vignette series dedicated to Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts.
I'll be back. I've got 22 more days.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land,
Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very, very much for joining us. It is Open Line, and a call in the queue. Thank you very much for just hanging on during our break. All is well?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, thank you. And I wanted to ask, in light of what you were sharing and in the way seemingly our political landscape is unfolding, we can run anywhere as candidates. We can only vote as voters where we live and are registered. So I wanted to ask two things. One, what's your view on a national vote of sorts, where as voters we either voting for the premier or for the premier and cabinet or that sort of thing, as opposed to how we got the country as it is, chopped up into little bits and pieces and creating a garrison communities and increasingly dividing us. I mean, what's your view?
If I'm understanding the question correctly, I don't remember how it's done in the UK or Canada, but I'm just using those for examples in the US. In the US, they do vote. Of course, we know they have the Electoral College, but they, in an essence, still cast a vote for all of the primary leaders. And I think that is something that could come down to good governance here in the Cayman Islands with the voters.
Fair enough. So let me be more direct. I mean, we tend to look at other places, but let's look at the Cayman context, where now we've moved from a system for a couple of elections now, where in, say, Bordentown, West Bay, Georgetown, just as an example, you had 4 seats or you had 6 seats, and you could elect up to that number of people if you choose, or just vote for one or not at all, to where we've now. And I was saying this understanding that it creates deliberately in my part a very disparaging tone relative to the stupid one man one vote foolishness that we've adopted, right, following fashion, bring broke neck. I'm opposed to it. I think it's absolutely asinine, and it has created a garrison community. I wonder increasingly in the amount of feedback that I've finally got from people that thought that we made a mistake, wonder how many people have come to their senses and seen how stupid it is. So with that in mind, a national vote for the premier and our cabinet members, or do we continue got a country, like I said, deliberately, very directly, and hopefully inflammatory to some, chopped it up into pieces? You take West Bay as a community, and now you got on one side of the road someone voting for one representative, on the other side, or the adjoining property boundary, 2 different representatives, right? And if, let's say the cabinet member, for instance, if on the premise the scripture says a man can't serve 2 masters, you have a person who has constitutional responsibilities, has been elected, now elevated to cabinet, serving in at the pleasure, so to speak, of the premier, with those constitutional responsibilities for that portfolio, also being mindful that if you're not attentive to your respective constituency, you may do a disservice to that constituency, you may risk being re-elected, but you are effectively split between 2. So is that really good governance and the such? And then you got the premier, who, impact like the cabinet members will affect all of the country. And if you're elected in a particular constituency, whether you get 1,000 voters or you get 500 voters or 250 or whatever the number is, your decisions and leadership reflects all of the country. Should those people not be elected nationally?
Are you asking me if
So do you support
the voters should be able to vote to say who's going to be cabinet ministers, who's going to be premier, and maybe who's going to be speaker? Is that what you're asking?
No, I was asking you if you like to one of our listeners, and this might resonate with you. I'll just read it as it is. And I want to read some of the other things that this particular listener shared as well, right? So 1 man, 1 vote was a terrible idea, and that must be changed, right? So reading that from this person that said that, are you one of those who champion and a strong proponent of the one man, one vote, or one person, one vote? Or are you like me and others who are increasingly courageous to say, like this last person who wrote this thing, it was a dumb idea and we were doing a disservice to the country and we should get rid of it?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say it was a dumb idea, but I think it has not served this country as it was probably intended or expected to. I think the islands did much better when it was before this one man, one vote was implemented. And now we see that we have an increase in population. We see that we only have 19 MPs. I wish they had adopted the recommendation of the Boundaries Commission to have another MP, because I think that the present 19 MPs that are there are not enough for all of the responsibilities that has come on board since the country has exploded, I would use the word to say, as it has, especially after the pandemic. But I definitely feel that pre one man, one vote, the country was headed in a better course, and the makeup of the parliamentary system was a better serving system, if I can put it like that.
No, I hear you. And the thing is, right, what's interesting is that
If I answered your question.
Yeah, no, you did. In an unprecedented tone, I deliberately, with a sense of being inflammatory, use the language I use, because there are a few people who were very, very much in favor of the one man, one vote, and now have said, yep, like you, it has not served the country well. And whether it was as alleged, part of the idea for that was to get rid of McKeever. That was the loud ringing clause, and whether that's the case or not. But the thing is, if you look at it, a house divided can't stand, right? That's what we come to hear and accept, whether it's actually in the scriptures or not. But unity and strength can build a community as opposed to division and discord and disharmony. And then if you look at the Cayman landscape, let's say you got 100,000 people, let's say you got 30,000 voters, whatever the number is, you got a constituency of 1,000 or 2,000 people. Statistically, somebody getting elected with a very, very small number can influence the direction of the country for the rest. Does that bode well for us in terms of good governance and participation? And I don't think we're willing to have meaningful discussions. One of our listeners writes, if constitutional reform is needed, then let's do it. Let's get to that space where we're talking sensibly, not rushed, not in haste, not knee jerk, but talking about what we should do.
Did you have another question for me, Dwayne? Because I
Go ahead. Well, I was going to ask you, because rumors were that you were considering contesting the seat as well. Are you planning to run?
Well, I've been hearing that. What is this? I've been hearing that since 2013. I've been hearing that since 2013, and I'm not going to dismiss that I am. I'm not going to dismiss that I am. I'm strongly thinking about it. There are some mitigating factors that will lead up to that, of course. So I'm just watching and seeing how things play out. So I wouldn't totally, absolutely dismiss it, but as of this point, I wouldn't absolutely say a bold-faced yes publicly on air in that regard. One thing I did want to say, sorry, did you have some feedback after I answered that question?
No, I would just read what someone has written. We are too small to be chopped up into 19 pieces. I agree with that. Look at the ongoing division that is constantly growing amongst us. And that's why I feel the way I do. That's why I said what I said when this thing was being proposed. And, good leadership means that you have to be willing to stand in the gap and take the licks for it. Good leadership means that you're willing to look and see and acknowledge where you went astray and course correct. But good leadership doesn't mean that you follow fashion. You are willing to do the right thing. Just like a good parent. You tell the child no, you tell the child yes, but you do it so in love.
Well, I was going to speak on that also in terms of I do believe the one man, one vote caused a bigger division in the islands, because now we've found that MPs focus primarily on their individual districts. Even when they become ministers, it's kind of hard. I've noticed that it seemed it was a bit hard to balance that, and you find people saying, "Well, I voted for you in this area, but I can't get through to you. You know, you're no help to people in this area because you're doing X, Y, and Z as a minister." And I think that created that division where the ministers or MPs are caught in, okay, I'm here to serve the entire Cayman Islands, but then I'm still here to serve. And I don't think that many of the ministers, and I'm not speaking of just government, I'm just talking overall of the 19 MPs.
Right.
I think that there was, from my observation, there has been a struggle for those that went into the ministerial positions to have that balance, and that has caused the voters to be very frustrated, as opposed to going back to what was in effect before the one man, one vote, where basically it was easier for all representatives to represent the island in a whole.
Right.
In a matter of speaking, that's my point of view.
No, I'm with you, and I want us honestly to start talking with each other and stop talking at each other.
Right.
And it's not from a position of being naive nor an endeavor to be noble. It's from a recognition that what is happening in our country isn't going to serve us well, not just into the distant future. I'm talking about into the next couple of years. You know, before our children then leave primary school or graduate high school. This is something that we need to grasp, and we need to do now and stop berating and beating up each other.
I wanted to say something quickly, Dwayne, to give an example. Say, for example, in Georgetown, we have 5 districts in Georgetown. We have
7 or 5, 6?
Oh, okay. Officially, I was thinking about Central Georgetown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
See, okay.
County, Red Bay, and Prospect also.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So we had 2 ministers in Georgetown as a whole of Georgetown, and we have 2 ministers who were getting things done in their districts, right? And I'm not saying that they were neglecting the other districts, but in an essence, the other districts that didn't have ministerial positions really weren't getting any.
Well, not even districts, because people may assume Georgetown.
But
the constituencies.
Electoral constituencies.
Yes,
yes, that's what I should say.
No, I know what you meant, but just for clarity, so I don't get accused of, Okay.
Yeah. So no, thank you for clarifying that. That makes more sense. Yes. So we see that effectively is another, for me, and I don't know if it comes down to the individual candidate, MPs, or it just comes down to the way that the system is set up, where there's just one man, one vote. So we have, say for instance, Georgetown has seven constituencies, right? And 2 of those are ministerial positions. Have 2 ministers in position, and then the other other constituencies, really nothing happens with those constituencies, because in an essence, the MPs in those other areas are the opposition, right? And the opposition really can't get anything done because they're not in ministerial positions to make certain types of decisions. And I'm not throwing any shade or negative connotation against anyone at all. I'm just using a general analogy.
Yeah, agree.
So we see again where, because there's so much division in having the one man, one vote areas, some constituencies get neglected and others don't, because it's human nature that some ministers may say, okay, my district, my allegiance is to the district that the constituency that elected me first and foremost, where I want to get. And then what happens to Red Bay, and what happens to the other areas, and so I think I kind of put the picture out there, and that's the only, because Georgetown is the biggest constituency I could have.
Right.
I haven't heard too much of people saying the same thing in West Bay, because they have 4 members there, but I have heard a lot of people saying it to me being a Georgetowner, and a lot
Mhm.
of people, Georgetown being the biggest area. So that was another example I wanted to put out there. Not, like I said, I'm not throwing any shade against the government or the opposition or any particular administration or ministers or anything like that, just using a general analogy.
No, thank you for that. I think those of us listening would recognize that you're just making, the comments generally. So thank you.
Well, one other last thing before I go. I don't know if you happen to.
Go right ahead.
But what do you think about the recommendations for the Shamrock Road that the government is proposing? Have you been able to see that article?
No, I rarely read the compost. Tell you the truth. But you want to give us your perspective on it, so that for the rest of us who don't know.
Yeah, I didn't entirely read the article,
Okay.
but I know there's some recommendations of implementing certain traffic traffic bumps or something like that they're called on the road to combat the speeding on that road there, Shamrock Road.
Yeah.
Spot stops and so forth.
Yeah, well, we used to call it Spot Street. People, should give credit to the fantastic engineering when the road was constructed, using the tools that they had at the time. But over the years, I think the problem is too many of us have failed to appreciate the importance of enforcement and sense when it comes to driving just generally, right? So look at where stop signs are. You got a road that's curving, a road that's straight. The road that's curving can have the right of way because somebody has the influence to make it that way. A straight road, you got to stop for a road that has a bend. Wow.
Yeah. I do believe more police presence, because you very rarely see police presence on that road, especially at nights and late in the mornings. I do believe more police presence should be there, and also the CCT cameras. They say they're going to bring more of those on board into the new year, so that could be a huge deterrent if they don't already have some in that area to get those set up.
Well, I hear you, and that probably many would agree with you related to police presence. The question I always ask is that a cost that the country can afford, both the financial cost, the human cost. But when are we going to stop and we recognize that we might be becoming a police state? When are we going to recognize the police may be better deployed in other areas, and we as road users, from the motorists, cyclists, pedestrians, or other, we need to be more responsible, considerate, careful, sensible, and it's really not for policing, whether it's through legislation or enforcement. Like I always, society has a norm, and those norms need to be one that we enforce because it's the right thing. Littering, for instance, maybe the answer now is enforcement and higher fines, but if the country does not value a clean place, all enforcement and fines will just be more administrative work for the police or whoever's enforcing it, for the courts to sanction it, as opposed to society to say, let's not do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right. Good stuff.
All right, Dwayne. Thanks very much.
You're most welcome. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
All right. It is open line. Let's read a couple of quick messages from our WhatsApp. I'll tell you the numbers to call in a second. Someone writes, proper business case proposals must include data including possible human impacts. And this person is, where the human impact of the decisions must be taken into consideration, just like environmental impacts are done in data-driven decisions which we should be making. And the human impact specifically referring to how our people / the Caymanians are impacted by the decisions. And that's the other thing that I wanted to reference. Are we actually thinking about what is being done and not being done, and its impact, not just on the country, from the environmental, social, and otherwise, but on people, on Caymanians specifically? And it would appear that many of us, especially coming to elections time, want to hear, Caymanians first. What does that mean, and how is that going to happen? If you didn't do it before and had no interest, whether you were elected before, elected now, or actively involved with getting somebody elected, what has been the seminal moment now, that epiphany that you've had that all of a sudden gives you a revelation and go, we've got to do something? We've talked a lot, but we've done very little. And you walk around Cayman, you ask yourself, how many people that you hear sound like you. But also, when you extend an invitation, is it a genuine one? Are you warm and inviting, inclusive, and ensuring that those who are not Caymanian, who don't sound look like you are loving, kind, respectful to them? Are you also receiving that from others? Comes back to what I was sharing earlier. We're becoming increasingly divided. And if our political systems entrench that, encourage that, we got an issue. We see it in our churches. The same church with men and churches don't seem to be able to figure out, which God they serve and how they get together. And then you got different churches, they're all together, disconnected, and yet seemingly they're all under the Christian religion. Not those from other religions, but all under the Christian one. They can't get along. Now you tell me how that will work. 949-8037, 949-6990. You can WhatsApp, call, message, voice note, or whichever. For the strong disclaimer, Susan didn't write the script, so don't blame her for this. This is all on me. So give us a shout and share your thoughts. We'd like to hear from you.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
The holiday season is here, and St. Ignatius Catholic Church invites you to join them for their Christmas cheers and annual Christmas fundraiser prize draw on Saturday, December 14th, starting at 7:15 p.m. Come and share the Christmas spirit at the Christmas cheers event with Carolyn, performances by dancers, a popular storyteller, the church choirs, talented vocalists, and musicians. Also, enjoy complimentary seasonal refreshments. Then at 8:15, the exciting grand prize drawing. First prize is an incredible $25,000, plus lots of other prizes, including thousands of dollars in CI and U.S. cash. Tickets are just $25 and are available at the St. Ignatius Church office, Funky Tanks, Island Cleaners, and from church members. Look out for sellers at the supermarkets, Kamana Bay, and even the credit union. Remember, ticket holders don't have to be present to win. All proceeds support the St. Ignatius Facilities Development Fund, School Scholarship Fund, and Community Outreach. Join us for the season's joy and generosity. Saturday, December 14th at 7:15 p.m. at St. Ignatius on Walkers Road.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walkers Road. Urgent care right now.
A $5,000 reward is up for offer for the return of a missing dog that goes by the name of Spiky Haggis. Spiky is white and cream in color and is a Pomeranian mix. He is a small dog that has a distinctive scar above his left hip. Spiky went missing over 2 weeks ago in the area of Selkirk Drive and Bimini Drive. The public is asked to keep their eyes peeled for Spiky, and if anyone has any information on the missing Pomeranian mixed dog, to please call Cayman Vets at 525-5838.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britgay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The Cayman Islands Passport and Corporate Services Office is advising that for the holiday season, its office will be closed on Monday, the 9th of December, Christmas Day, the 25th of December, Boxing Day, the 26th of December, and New Year's Day, the 1st of January. On Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, the office will be open between 9 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. For more information, call 345-649-7678 or email passportandcorporate@gov.ky.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for sharing with us as we take this next call. Welcome, thanks for calling.
Good day, Wayne. How are you today?
It is indeed a good day, but when I see people and I greet them, I say hello. And, if it's good night, I say hello. And then when they're leaving, that it's dark, I say good night. Not a little thing that changed in the Cayman that we shouldn't really accept, but that's just me, right?
You're okay. No.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Good, thanks. I've been listening, I listen.
Mm-hmm.
I hear everybody talking about the issues.
Uh-huh.
I don't hear too many solutions because everything they're repeating is already in practice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not working. So there was a comment made about one man, one vote causing a little, what the caller said was that found that was difficult to get hold of the people they voted in certain areas. They became ministers. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. The problem we have is that the ministers do not have properly organized working committees.
Okay.
That is our biggest issue. If I'm in Georgetown East and the person got in there I voted for, shouldn't have to call that person.
Right.
He or she should have a committee assigned to him or her that committee is very well informed and the committee communicates with that person.
Right.
On the other hand, we have the separatism from the top. If you have a MP in charge of a certain, let's say medical, for example.
Uh-huh.
But you have how many more portfolios?
In addition to that, right?
12. Altogether, portfolios?
Well, I don't know. I mean, when you say that, you mean how many ministers in cabinet or how many things fall under those respective ministries?
Well, yeah, you said it right. So, yeah, it's more portfolios than it is.
Right.
So, but what I'm trying to say is we fall into this bracket. MPs fall into this bracket that they're in charge of a certain area, so they don't bother to take responsibility for the other areas. And that's where the separation starts. I can be in charge of tourism, and you can be in charge of public health, for example. And you can have a fantastic year, a fantastic 4 years, and I may not have a fantastic 4 years. That's an imbalance. So why then, the ministers, as far as I'm concerned, should be working together to look at the whole scope of things, while the committees is feeding to them what issues are coming from the communities.
Right. So in listening to you,
they can put a structure together. Everybody works together instead of everybody being up in this thing about who's who, I and listen, that is foolishness. We're too small for that, and that's what we've been working on. We can get up and talk about the issues, but unless we have unity from the top that we can look over a scope. And when they get in the house, they can listen to each other and say, well, this area needs strength and whatever. What can I do? What can I do for you? My committee can talk to your committee.
Yeah.
You see my point?
I hear you.
Nobody
And
wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. And I don't care how many experience, how many years you've been in politics. I don't care what your background is. If we don't have that foresight and we don't have the, how you would say, the trust to help each other for the betterment of the country, not for yourself. I'm not interested in work. I'm not interested in making anybody rich, you know. But if they get rich, I don't have nothing against them either. As long as they do for the country what needs to be done. That's always been my issue, my point. That's why I said I will never vote again unless I have a good reason to leave my house or go vote for somebody. Because the system works the same. You can change the faces, you can change the people, but if the system is not put in place correctly, people don't have a focus that is focused on making the betterment of the country rather than just segments of the country.
there you go.
It's going to work.
Yeah. Full on board with you. And that's where we need to look. I encourage you what you share. Look at what we're doing. And perhaps as the voter, if I'm hearing you correctly, not just looking at the person that is elected, but we as the voter, are we getting involved, engaged, informed? Are we ensuring that we're active in what's happening? Because if it's just the politician, then that's just one facet of the equation. Where is our input as voters?
And that's what I'm. And then, elected people have to realize that there are people out here who are just as smart as they are, who knows what's happening, who can look at things and say, well, it shouldn't be done that way, but what can we do about it, kind of thing. How can we fix it? There are people out here like that. I can guarantee you in Cayman right now, I can guarantee you that 3/4 or probably more of the voting population has a good idea how the country should be run. This secret business is no more secret business. Like you got to be a politician to find out how to run the country. No, that's finished. So I want them to hear that. I want them to hear that. Not because you've been elected and you know carrying the staff in your hand, it means that we are now stupid.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk that's no more. Exactly. That don't work. We know exactly what is happening. I'm a fifth generation Caymanian. I know Cayman history inside out. Not just by reading books, but being around the right people.
And listening.
Also had opportunities to be with people that at the time it was happening, I didn't know how much value it would be to me. But I was in the presence and spent many hours and days, sometimes years, amongst people of the Cayman establishment who know all of these things. And I'm sure it's more than me.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. And I think what I like about you and others is you have it at your recall. I was going to ask you because just then, thinking of what the caller prior was sharing about the Sports Street, my understanding, and it was said perhaps insufficiently and celebrated even less so, when they constructed our road, the tools that they used, the way they did it, the equipment they had to work with, and yet, as I understand, that was built with exceptional engineering, great workmanship. It was a fantastic piece of engineering, and the road was straight. Is that your recollection as well?
Absolutely.
But I can't recall, readily who.
We can talk, and you can compare that to the first or airport runway as well.
Exactly, right.
So I could call one name to you.
Yes, sir.
I can't remember his last name. Mr. Ted.
Yeah.
He was an Englishman. Listen to me. What happened today is that we got caught up in a rush for the best price. The best price doesn't always mean you're getting quality. And those days, we depended more on advice from British knowledge, which a lot of times came from military side.
Right.
And they knew what they were doing. Mr. Tate was a qualified engineer in so many different ways, so he knew what the hell he was doing. So we got these people run by these days, so they got qualifications on the paper.
Yep.
So have you worked in an environment like Cayman environment before? Is the first question. Don't tell me where you've been before. have you study us? Have you worked in an environment like this? We're a piece of rock sitting in the middle of the ocean, flat. We have certain areas that swamp that floods. How are you going to build these roads?
Mm-hmm.
It's all kind of engineering information and techniques involved in building a road.
Yeah. If I may ask you, and sort of being encouraged by Mr. Orman's comments as sort of evident from what you just shared, it would seem that from the Cayman context, there was a time when we had a better relation with the UK. Their resources, their technical expertise were accessible, more readily available. I wonder now if in the Cayman of today, we are not accessing what we have that would allow us to be, when it comes to engineering and infrastructure development and just overall good governance, are we now being more influenced by the region? And is that to our detriment, if so?
Yes, it is. And there's two reasons for that.
Okay.
One is, again, the money. I'm sure if you reward the British because their currency is sterling, it will cost us more.
Yeah.
That's always something that has to be considered and leveled out mathematically.
Uh-huh.
So we adapt to the lowest price, and then we end up getting people from territories where the cost of living is high and the currency is low. So the bids then become lower. The other issue is that we tend to look at things differently. The modern world has become so technical. Let's take the port, for example. We need a port. We need an upgraded port. The question we have to ask: how much are we going to spend on the port? Who is it going to benefit? What's it going to do for Cayman, really, on a whole? Not just the chosen few or the people who are in business with tourism, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Is the port going to be valuable to the entire Cayman Islands? And again, infrastructure, we have no infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're building the port for cruise ships, you're talking about increasing population. That puts weight on the streets.
More pressure on the infrastructure.
More pressure all around.
Right, okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that the older heads had less to deal with, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Cayman is now we're like a volcano getting ready to burst.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, it's not easy to make the right decisions. But I think that we could pull back a bit. Rather than going full speed ahead, I think we need to stop and look at what we have and try to use what we have to the best of our ability.
Mm-hmm.
So that then we can make space for what might be more progressive in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But we cannot just keep putting icing on the cake. The cake is spoiling. So all you got is icing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what they say, while the horses or the cows are starting to dead, the grass is growing, right? All right. Hey, thanks very much, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, always.
Have a good day.
You too. A couple of calls, but we have a break. It's 1:45. Stay tuned.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Nominations are now open for National Heroes Day Awards 2025. This year, we honor Caymanian excellence in business in recognition of the icons of entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership, those whose ingenuity and hard work have shaped our business community. Submit your nomination online at gov.ky/labor or email nhd@gov.ky for more details. Nomination deadline has been extended to December 14th. Don't wait. Make your nomination today.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey report is now online. Interested in learning more about risk factors for non-communicable diseases in Cayman? How about gaining an understanding of the overall health of the nation? Whether you're into hard data or fun infographics, this report is for you. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps. Let's step into wellness together, Cayman.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you are remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Reflections annual countdown to Christmas sale is on now. Ladies, save 50 to 75% off selected fashion clothing, selected Adidas, Puma, and Nike sneakers discounted from 25 to 50% off. Make your gift giving super easy this year by getting Reflections gift certificates for everyone on your list. Converse kicks starting at $25 and bargains galore throughout the store. Guys, cargo pants, big and tall, $5.50. Levi's and selected Docker pants, 25% off. Every purchase above $49 at Reflections gives you the opportunity to win 2 free tickets to any Cayman Airways destination of your choice. Open Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. Shop Reflections on Shen Road beside the Mango Tree.
See yourself in Reflections. Reflections, always driving down prices.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. It is open line, 10 minutes to 2. Let's take this next call on the regular line. Let's go to the phones. Welcome, thanks for calling.
Sterling.
How are you?
I'm not as good as you, but I'm all right. Thank God for that.
What was that song? I'm not as good as I was, but good once as I ever was.
Yep. I just want to tap in a little bit. You were on politics there a few minutes ago. Sterling, you know as well as I do that, politicians is not something. I mean, people that are selected or picked to run this country, it's not a job that you can learn on the job, right? You have to have a certain amount, as much experience as you can have. I mean, in every field possible. So, I mean, civil servants, I think, would make the best politicians. You were asked a question earlier about running. And, back and forth. And, lots of in the butt. But you know, Sterling, no disrespect to you in any way, shape, or form, but if you think you are qualified to run or help or assist to run a country, I mean, I take my hat off to you. Yes, go for it. But if you don't think that you are qualified enough to run a country, I mean, I don't think you should throw your hat in, personally. Because, Sterling, at one point in our lives now, looking at the direction that the world is going in, and especially Cayman, I'm not too concerned about, well, a lot of the outside stuff that is happening affects us also, right? But my main concern is this little piece of rock that we call home, that we are losing. So, I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but I don't want you to select me for something because, oh, well, Peter is a nice person. You know, he gonna be able to talk to people, and he will listen to people. That is not gonna work anymore. You know, you can't be Mr. Nice Guy. You have to have knowledge, and you got to know when to put your foot down and say, look, make tough decisions. Sometimes it's not what people want, but sometimes you have to do that. And that's just part of life because, I mean, we elect the officials, right, to do our work. But they are not doing it. They don't even come on the talk show and let us know what they're not doing from what they're not doing.
Right. So let me ask, all right? I take on board your comments. So with that in mind, what makes a person, whether equipped, qualified, or what have you, as you shared, to run a country? I mean, and I heard you when you said, you know, it's not a job that you learn on the job, but what makes that person qualified in your estimation?
You have, like I said earlier, you have to have experience in all fields of life and business. You see, like Trump was never a politician, but Trump was a businessman. He had good wisdom. He knew about business, right? And that put him in the position to be able to become the president of the United States because it's almost like he's running multi-million-dollar projects. Well, if that don't qualify him to run a country, then nobody else is qualified to run a country. See, and when you are in the Senate for a certain amount of years, you pretty much get to know the ins and the outs, and you listen to your people, and you get their knowledge, you get their feedback also, which makes your life a lot easier for you to be an elected official. But you think now because, oh, we elected you, you don't need us no more. You can make all of our decisions. You can tell us that, well, if we go to Foster's, well, we don't need a gallon of milk. But I've been putting milk in my coffee for years. Now you can tell me because I elected you, I don't need my milk. No. I don't need you to do that. Right? I need you to make sure that this country is run as efficient as it possibly can, and it's from a professional standpoint. That's what I want you to do, and do not ignore the people. Right? So because that's where all politicians fail.
But is that part of the challenge? I'm listening to you, and I agree that the people. Thanks to this caller for sending this. This caller writes, we are looking for candidates with good character, history of effective leadership, accountability, education, and fiscal responsibility. Just to begin with, politicians must come ready. And this one, so with that in mind, this one writes, egos. What was it I said about egos? Egos. That's the primary issue. Everybody wants to be premier, right? So with what you're saying and what that listener just shared that I read, if in parliamentary procedure and governance and in elected politics, Don't you think you learn that as you get there, unless you come in from the civil service?
Dwayne, you can become a champion running your household, right? You can that comes as you get married, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get yourself a house, and then you learn the ins and the outs, right? And then you have kids, and then you gotta know how to run them also, and monitor them and everything else, and when to spend time with them, and when to give them a little bit of free time, when to do their chores, and all of this kind of stuff, right? And you learn that you can learn those things as you go along, right? But my point is, even some of the look at this university, Professor Victor Hansen, I think he is. I mean, sometimes he don't have all of the answers to what is happening. So we're not gonna have all of the answers that one would think you should possess. There will be a bit of weakness somewhere along the line, but you cannot get behind that car unless you can drive. It's simple as that, because what will happen? You got to have a serious collision, and then what? Right? So it's like learning to ride a bicycle. It's birth. You learn to crawl, you learn to walk, and that's what it's all about. But you can't just take me and say, Peter, well, you've been in this business for 40 years. We want you now to become a pilot. And I go and I start campaigning to become a pilot. And I get elected to become a pilot. I don't know the damn thing about a pilot. I'm flying a plane. So it's just you have to have some knowledge, and education. Yes, that is the number one thing, right? But you gotta have the ability,
right,
and experience and everything else that goes along with it in order to know that you're leading the country in the right direction and not going backwards.
Right.
And you have to have foresight.
Exactly.
Lots of foresight.
Yeah. With that last point, if I may ask you just one question. Given we have 19 people elected now, you can name them if you want, but that's not the question. To your mind, are any of the 19 currently possess the characteristics, the abilities that you talk about in order to run a country?
My personal views?
Well, your personal views.
I personally do not think so.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I know what they can run.
Mm-hmm.
Is end of the month. They're gonna run in the end of the month. That paycheck.
Yeah. And
the reason I feel the way I feel, Dwayne,
mm-hmm.
is if you want to represent us, come and let us know that you representing us, the people of this country. Don't wait now till election time. Come out and you're going to see them all over the place. Oh, what do you want now? Oh, we want your vote. No. It doesn't work like that. We need to stop this, and it needs to stop now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to respect us, and we're going to respect you, and that's all we're asking. Don't dump us away as soon as you get elected and you forget about us. You can't even come on our own talk show, Radio Cayman, which is there. You there, 5 days a week. They can't even come on there and say, look, guys, here's what we're doing for the country. We see the issues. We see the problems where the country, we see the direction the country's going in, and here is what we're doing to try to fix some of the problems. But you know what my answer would be to them? It's gone. It's not repairable anymore. It's gone way past that. When it should have been done was 20, 30 years ago. We should have been able to see what was happening, what was coming. But too many people were too busy lining their pockets. And that's where we went. That's where we fell down. And they didn't expect this. Now they're talking about building a cruise berthing facilities. Who's going to pay for that, Dwayne? Where's the money coming from? Huh? 7 Mile Beach is gone to hell. You'll never in our lifetime or yours fix that because you cannot fix it. The only how you can fix that is to knock every one of them hotels back, knock them down, and let Mother Nature take its course because that's the only how that can be repaired. So they can go and they can put hundreds of millions of dollars into it. It's going to make absolutely no difference. And you know what I would like? Somebody prove me wrong. I'm no engineer. I'm no expert. But I watch how nature works. And nature is something you don't mess with. Sterling.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
You didn't get offended in any way by
Oh, no.
But,
Not at all.
I don't mean anything personally.
Anybody knows you knows that you're honest, you do great work in your profession, and you speak your mind. So thank you for that, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're most welcome. And I hope you didn't get, either as I sort of engaged you, but thank you.
Sometimes you got to be challenged, Sterling.
Yeah. A good fish that land in a boat, it wouldn't be good if you didn't have a fight, right?
Tell Susan I love her.
Ah, boy. And let me see if I can translate that for her. Mi amigo dice, tu amo, te amo, no? Sí, okay. Yeah, all right. Thank you, sir. He said, we got to pause and take the news break. When we come back, we'll take some more calls. Stay tuned.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
In your headlines, a new Sariba app is planned for the new year. The real estate tool is designed to provide a, quote, enhanced and seamless experience for buyers, sellers, and agents. The organization says it has also redesigned its website and multiple listing system and introduced, quote, enhanced data security measures. In regional headlines, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he believes that his former prime ministerial colleague, Dr. Keith Mitchell, wants to leave a strong foundation on which others can build as he gets ready to hand over the leadership of the main opposition New National Party. Holness, addressing a rally marking the NNP's 40th anniversary Sunday, said that Mitchell has informed him that he must ensure the core principles and ideals on which the NNP was formed continue to be its guiding principle for the future. Honduran President Xiomara Castro says she will convene a summit of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States to seek an urgent and solidarity-based solution to the crisis in Haiti, where criminal gangs have been seeking to overthrow the government. President Castro says she is seeking solutions to regional problems without interference or external pressure, with dialogue as a tool and always thinking about regional well-being and self-determination of peoples. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Freedom, Cayman Brac. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments December 7th to the 14th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles. Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email Dr. Porter Cayman at gmail.com. That's drportercayman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
A $5,000 reward is up for offer for the return of a missing dog that goes by the name of Spiky Haggis. Spiky is white and cream in color and is a Pomeranian mix. He is a small dog that has a distinctive scar above his left hip. Spiky went missing over 2 weeks ago in the area of Selkirk Drive and Bimini Drive. The public is asked to keep their eyes peeled for Spiky, and if anyone has any information on the missing Pomeranian mixed dog, to please call Cayman Vets at 525-5838.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us as we go straight to the phones on the WhatsApp call. Welcome, thank you for calling.
Talk to me, Mr. Sterling.
Mi amigo, how are you today, man?
Man, I'm doing good. And how was your vacation?
It was good. It was good. It was good from a number of perspectives. You know, I could consciously, confidently leave knowing that Ray and Mr. O.C. and Kathleen, everybody will follow the instructions and Mr. Norman Paulette. So everything's going to be good. And two, I can get some stuff done. So I did.
That's most important.
That is it. I didn't get it all done, but then again, you know, maybe I made the list too long, but I got a lot done. So Christmas is coming, and I'm glad I could check some things off the list.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So it was a
That's awesome.
workation, not a vacation, but a workation.
Well, as long as you can get most of your things done, and that's the most important, because nowadays you can't even have time for yourself.
Yeah, that is so true. Unfortunately, no. But thanks for asking, man. I hope all is well with you in the family.
Yeah, you know, we're all right. I trying to hold on right now. You know, just listening in on the show and you know, trying my best to be a good listener, because I hear a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of things that we can't address alone. You know, I hearing about qualifications and being prime minister, or is that just a politician, a regular one?
Yeah, I mean, it is something that...
Okay.
All right. Well, let me hear from you. You're chatting, right?
Sorry, yeah, no, I was just listening.
Okay.
I was just listening to someone just now, but yeah, I listening to you too, but I wanna say, right, if it is a requirement to be listening to the people as a representative of a district, let's just say, we in Cayman, we not the rest of the world, so I'm not expecting to be a politician like United States of America, right? But if I was to say I want to help represent Cayman, my district especially, you know, because each district have their own representatives and they have their own duties to deal with, and as far as I know, a lot of them they want to listen to the foreigners and what they suggest, and half of them don't even understand the demographics of Cayman, environmentally especially, because they think that because they can do something in Dubai or in France, they can do it here too, and that it just doesn't work that way. It literally just doesn't work that way. The same way they think that they can do it elsewhere, they just can't come to Cayman and expect to do the exact same thing. You know, that's not going to work. As far as I know, Cayman is not a sandbox like what they think it is. It's actually like a top of a volcano, and we are trying to take care of that dormant volcano that we know of or that we believe in. I believe this as a dormant volcano, and that's a very fragile ecosystem to deal with.
But this is it, man. But we need more local. We need more local environmentalists, and I say local because there's the ones that just came here, and then there's the one that has been here for eons, and they know what is capable of the nature in Cayman, which we really have a very dangerous environment here. As nice and beautiful as the place seems, we've seen what Northwesterns can do. As simple as a Northwestern might sound, to some, they've seen it. Now it's become like an hurricane because of certain infrastructures that are being built, certain places that are being developed, and they're not consciously thinking of the consequences to Mother Nature. Well, I don't think that we're paying attention sufficiently, as you shared, right? So hopefully we will.
And that's one of the more important things. And the people that are representing us right now, they're not environmentalists themselves. They're money-making people. They're businessmen. So of course they're not going to worry about the environment as long as we can pay for it, right? I don't believe in buying sand, sir. I don't believe in bringing sand to the beach, actually. And that's exactly what I'm seeing going on. They're bringing sand to the beach. Which sand they're going to bring here? Our island has pristine coral sand. That sand is completely different from the sand that is in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah.
And what will come in with that sand? Right?
A lot of things. And then you want to talk about pollution, the cost and the pollution, what they want to call carbon footprint, the carbon footprint that they would be putting onto our island just to replenish the beach because they want to save their property that God is taking back from them. It's not going to work. I'm sorry, the beach replenishment thing that I see on YouTube that DART is advertising, that is bogus. That is actually enough to launder money. Because it's not it's not a good solution.
Yeah. Well, I certainly appreciate you saying that. Would you let us take these other callers, giving us that we got 16 minutes left?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, man. Take you. Have a good afternoon. All right. Let's take this other call. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stir.
How are you, sir?
Oh boy, hanging in there, Peter. I got one over flu in. I seem like a lot of that running around the place now.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. I pray you feel better soon.
Yeah, man. Taking a lot of vitamin C and stuff like that, kind of plugging up myself, so I got something I kind of lick it out. I'm not going to keep it long. I'm not keep it very long. The caller before this last one, he was right on money when he said about the beach coming back. Like I preach now, when I preach, and I went on everything that I could go and I try to tell these people. It's not a sense in them putting sand, bringing sand and put there alongside them buildings. Because the first good heaven or rest of the how the sun is gone again. Because the water can't run its course and go up and leave the sun, settle in and leave the sun. It hit the wall and it's splashing and taking all the sun out. That's what got it the way it is now, because I don't even want to say our government, but that's what happened. Not this one, of course, I don't know which one. Allow them to build down on the beach. Now, the other day, I hear the people, the owners, want to sue the government because they gave them permission to build on the beach and their building is messed up. Well, in a way, I don't really believe the people, the feeling that way. But the government should look at them and say, listen, it's not government money you put down there, you put your own money there. You take your own money now, and you take all that cement off the beach. And I mean take it off the beach and go back up to the Jennifer line to begin with where it was there to begin with. And I guarantee you, 6 to 9 months, you get your sand back on the beach. I mean, that sand come back like that. The water going to come in and run its course up and settle in and leave the sand. Show you a little example. Right between Royal Palms now and Seagull Apartments. Now, they made Seagull go down and build down on the beach, all the way down on the beach. First, Seagull wasn't that far down. But they got them all down on the beach now. But quite a while, I'm sure. They're in the water. And Royal Palms, it got 2 foot of water around it. Now, in between the Royal Palms and Seagull, I would say it's probably 60, might be 100 feet. I don't think it's 100 feet, though. Where John Foster used to work.
Mm-hmm.
But John Foster never had no cement down. He had tents up. So they took the tents up. Now, if you go there right now, it don't have to be no big genius to see this or to know this. In between them two buildings, you got the prettiest white sand in the world. All the way up to where you got to stop your car by the driveway. The sand is up to there.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the water come in, the water run up there, leave the sand, settle in, and the water drain down and the sand come back out. When you got the walls and the walls, the water come up and bam, you lick on the wall and splash on the wall and lick in the sand and taking the sand away. I agree with that fella.
Mm-hmm.
And I got said it before and I say it again. Government got to, not must or not talking of foolishness. They got to make those people take those buildings back off the beach. Otherwise, they're going to ruin the whole of 7 Mile Beach because eventually the whole flow of water is going to change and it's going to wreck further down too.
Mm-hmm.
They got to make them take all of that concrete up off the beach and come back up to the Jennifer line like how they had it. Look at Weston. Look at Harbour Heights. Look at the governor's residence. You see any erosion down there?
Mm.
No, because those people built according to what the old people had for building down on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't even build on the Jennifer Bush line. You had to come back 60 feet from that and build. That's why all along that side down there is no erosion. Because the water got a chance to run its course up and settle into the sand and leave the sand.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Government got to make them take the concrete off the beach. There's no two ways about it.
Right.
Government been too easy on these people for too long.
Well, certain decisions need to be made if we're thinking about our future. But thank you for sharing that. Any other comments before we take the next call?
No, it was something else I forgot, but I'm not going to hold you.
No, I just want you to talk, man. Thank you. All the same, though. If you remember, let us know. All right?
Well, you know, when I come to I come to you positive.
Oh, yeah. Always. All right.
I'm going to ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Have you heard anything about what they're going to plan on doing there?
Well, there's a lot being said, but I can't tell you what I heard would be fit for dissemination at this time. But let's see what transpires, huh? Maybe they're still trying to figure out.
I hope the government ain't going to take no more of our money. They spend enough of our money, foolish as it is. I hope they ain't going to take no more money and put into helping them people with their problems, because them people built down on the beach, they should have never went down there to begin with, and the government should never have allowed them either, I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's water under the bridge right now.
Almost.
Yeah, but it can be saved.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they make them take them things up off the beach, they will see how quick the sand come back.
Yeah.
You're not going to pump in no sand out there, because that's not going to say the problem as long as the building is where it is.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm kind of sorry if I'm talking a little hard. And things
No,
like that. That's how I talk.
That's okay.
And furthermore, right now, my sinuses and things kind of stop. I'm trying to hear myself. Okay?
Yeah, you're okay, man. But thank you for recognizing that. But no, we're hearing you, and we understand. Thanks very much, sir.
Listen to this, because this is the only way they get it. Listen, I walked that beach from when I was 5 years old, 6 years old, from Haida Bay. It's called Haida Bay.
Yep.
That's the way Royal Farms thing is, you know.
Another name that we're losing.
And we see how the sea take the sun this part of the time of the year carry down that way. Take it and bring it back up, and go that way and bring it back up. That's nature built the Cayman Islands. Nobody now pumped in sandals from 7 Mile Beach to McNaught 7 Mile Beach. And if you play with nature, you see what happens when you play with nature? You take from nature, when nature come back to theirs, they take 3 times as much.
Yeah, you've seen it. But I hope you feel better. Hopefully our vitamin C will help you. Thanks and take care, sir.
Sorry.
All right.
I had to get that off my chest because that guy that spoke there, he spoke the truth when it comes to that.
You did, yeah.
He's not proud about that.
Glad you support him. Thank you, sir. All right. And let's take this other call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hiya.
One moment, please.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I was so overwhelmed with emotions listening to that last caller there that just hung up. It's so warming to hear our native Caymanians calling in with their original dialect, just pouring in their passion in the island. And I wish more Caymanbrackers and East Enders and Northsiders would call in, Bordentowners would call in too, so we can hear that over the airwaves. It's so lovely to hear that, tell you the truth. I wanted to touch on what the third to last caller, I believe he was before you went for the break, talking about the the experience and so forth of the candidates when they're running and so forth. He touched on a lot of good points. However, my personal opinion is that I don't believe necessarily that every person that runs for politics should wholeheartedly be have certain experiences and qualifications, and I say it to mean when we look at our forefathers who were legislators, many of them were just seamen. Not all of them may have had further education or even experiences and stuff like that. Now we know Cayman has grown. We're no longer the islands that time forgot. Everybody knows about the Cayman Islands now. So of course we want to have credible and persons representing us that we can be proud of. And that doesn't mean that someone who only has a high school diploma can't run for politics. I would venture to say, though, is that we have, and they don't necessarily mean. I mean, if we're going to look at, say, the forefather of the house, who, it's historically said that person just came right up through the ranks to become who they are. And that was traditionally how a lot of our politicians back in the day did. I do feel that they should have some exposure to events of the world, some exposure to traveling, some exposure to life outside of the Cayman Islands, whatever that may be. I do feel they should be aware of what's happening in the islands. They should have been on some form or another out amongst the society in the Cayman Islands, or doing something that can benefit the residents and voters of the Cayman Islands in that regard. I don't necessarily think that because someone doesn't have a background experience like Trump or like some of the MPs that are in there now who are lawyers or accountants means that we can't have good candidates that can run for office. We have the civil servant, and when MPs are elected, they have teams behind them for each one of their the ministers. They have teams behind each one of them when they go into office. So it's not as though they just go in there and thrown in the ocean and left to swim or drown. They have a lot of good, long-serving civil servants that have been there for years and years. You have the chief officers, the permanent secretary. Well, the permanent secretaries are usually chosen from the MPs, I believe. But they have the chief officers, many of the chief officers that are there now have been there forever. Goodness, they have other administrative staff going down the succession who are great people who are there to support them and familiarize them with with their new positions and so forth. So I don't necessarily think that a candidate has to have had all this wealth of experience or wealth of professional qualifications. I do believe college degrees, at least a high school diploma, to show that they are qualified and have the cognizance ability to properly read and write and spell and that sort of thing, because we've seen that's sort of like a shortfall with some persons over many administrations. I don't want to say any particular person, and also we've also seen that when you go for a job in the civil service, you have to take I can't remember what's the name of the test, but you have to take a test that tests your ability to properly read, write, spell, punctuate, add, subtract, basic math skills and that sort of thing. And I think that could, I know that it shouldn't be law, but I think it should be a consideration for us all voters to take into account when we go to the polls to vote for people. Not just because someone is our favorite, we have to have demonstrated, or candidates should demonstrate something. May it not be Trump's background or a law firm, a legal background or accountant background, but just something to prove to the voting public that yes, I have something to offer. I have done X, Y, Z. I've put myself out here and put myself at the assist. I think I've called too much for the day. I'm losing my words now, but I think you get what I mean, Sterling.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of great people that could run that like myself, who may be a little shy or a little nervous, and but have that background. I know quite a few people.
Mm-hmm.
And island-wide, Cayman Brac, here in Grand Cayman, and that sort of thing. So we need to take those things into consideration. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but someone could have a high school diploma, right? Or if anyone is thinking about running, the GED is going to, the GED classes are going to open up. They can get in touch with, I think it's WORC, and get that GED.
I think we need to look carefully at many things and be very mindful that we don't follow and adopt some of the practices of the places if they haven't served those places well. And in the Cayman context, we've seen the seafarers, come from little or no formal education and rise up the ranks. So knowledge and learning and education experience should go beyond the academics. But if we were to just fast forward a second, when we understand that in our schools, many of our teachers are telling the Caymanian child, you don't need to go to university, you don't need a college education. And if we then make that as a prerequisite, what's going to happen? We already got serious consequences about what's happening in our society. I think there's a real leadership now needs to step up, both leadership in the homes and in the schools and in their communities and in their businesses and their politics and the churches, and be representative and reflective of the Caymanian ethos. And that's sorely lacking. You get people chastised and castigated for sound in Caymanian, in Cayman. Man, listen. Anyway, I'll share more I think later, but
I know you're getting passionate about that.
not getting passionate. I've always been.
Yeah, we'll carry on.
We'll carry on. All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Yeah. Well, I got new instructions. We are 2:30, so we call it the day for today. Hopefully, when it's time to play, we'll do so because we've done our work. And if it's to play before in order to build the bridges, then we'll still do our work. Faith without works is dead. Listen, Christmas is coming, and for those who celebrate it, because it's not just about giving in gifts and the like. Maybe let it be Christmas every day, as our country song. I always preferred country Christmas music over anything else, because it speaks to the carols that we knew and the sound and the theme that we could understand. But that Christmas spirit that we feel and embody should be one about love and kindness and compassion and sincerity and honesty and integrity. And those are the things I think we want in those who lead us, whether it's the coaches Was there teachers? Was there parliamentarians or business leaders? Ethics and integrity must be, principles that are evident in our behaviors. And maybe that's what's so lacking. We look globally and we got people who become celebrities because of their notoriety. They are now influencers. Well, I grew up in a space when people say, be careful, that person influencing you. That was a negative thing. Now for some reason they're making money and they don't have nothing between their ears, not even a little bit of air. You can't expect to get somewhere if the person taking you there have no clue where they're going. Alright, well, that's just today, Monday. Imagine what happened tomorrow. Well, I invite you to be back for more. And prayerfully, let's work together and make this place the safe community that we want. Economically and politically and socially stable. A place where we walk the streets and not mauled by dogs or harassed by, others. A place where people feel welcome and invited, but understand that there is a space and a place for all who understand, acknowledge, and accept, appreciate, and value what is here. And if you are called Caymanian because you go back generations or the paper, which that thing tells you Caymanian, the ink hasn't dried as yet. Caymanian is about embodying in your heart a healthy respect for the place that you have adopted or found yourself by default. Otherwise, my friend. Anyway, that's all that. Tomorrow, God's willing, we'll be a part of it as the sun goes down and rises again. May it be a pleasant and productive day. God bless.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.